And now I would like to call our partner and friend, Professor Marcin Wielec, the director of the Institute of Justice in Warsaw, Poland, and Vice Dean of the Cardinal Wyszynski University in Warsaw, to summarize of the activity of the given research group. Professor, the floor is yours.
So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Marcin Wielec, as said Mr. Professor Széchenyi, and in this year I had the great pleasure and great honor to be the head of a research group conducting research on the issue of the right to privacy as a part of the very huge international research project, Central European Professors Network. We have no doubt that the issue of the right to privacy is one, I'm sorry. We have no doubt that the issue of the right to privacy is one of the most interesting legal issues that have arisen recently. The right to privacy is a particular value for the life of a human being. The protection of private life has been ensured by a number of regulations, including national and international ones. The right to privacy has been placed in the most important documents concerning human rights, but also confirmed by the constitution of modern states and included in the national legal order. The constant development of the new technologies and the progressive digitalization of subsequent areas of human life have led to the emergence of the information society. The development of IT and ICT solutions, as well as the transfer of individuals' lives to virtual space, in addition to the benefits associated with it, has also led to emergence and new threats to the right to privacy. It is necessary to provide adequate guarantees of the right to privacy and legal mechanism for the legal protection to private life. The thematic scope of group focus on current issues related to the right to privacy and the dissemination of the new technologies, as well as the development of the information society. During our work, we pay attention in particular to the current changes and problems facing the right to privacy in the area of social economic changes that have occurred over recent decades due to the digital revolution. As part of our work, we analyzed universal standards regarding the right to privacy, as well as the problems faced by legislator and the judiciary of the Central European countries. Particularly, paid attention determining the limits of the right to privacy, as well as ensuring effective mechanism of legal protection that can be introduced into national legal order. During our analysis, we introduced and predicted the challenges and legal solution functioning in the countries of Central Europe. A research group was established consisting of researchers from Hungary, Serbia, Croatia, Slovakia, the Czech Republic, Slovenia, and Poland, of course. Therefore, it is extremely interesting to study the right to privacy, which must assume a multifaceted, multidimensional, and multi-treated concept, as well as the diversity of legal areas of the indicated countries. Moreover, in the study of the right to privacy cross not only legal elements, but also sociological, psychological, pedagogical. We create a book at the results of our research. Entire our book in our team is an attempt to understand the essence of the right to privacy in the future, taking into account the current state of affairs, but also trying to predict the effects of the dynamic entry of new trends and instruments into the area of privacy. In this context, it is valuable to analyze the right to privacy from a comparative perspective and thus to learn about the perception of the right to privacy from the point of view of several different legal systems. Therefore, the main goal of the research conducted within the framework of the aforementioned research group is to present in the publication a comparative outline of the right to privacy Central European countries, taking into account the element of modern times. After all, natural question arises such as how the right to privacy is understood in individual countries. What are the current problems with the implementation of this right? How far-reaching are the intervention of national authorities? It is possible to define the limits of this interference. What are the cases by interference by international bodies in a given country? What are the national forms of protection of the right to privacy? How the right to privacy is understood by national or international jurisprudence in cases where one of the parties in the country participating in the research. It is also important to indicate the national perspective of understanding, implementing, and protecting the right to privacy. After all, there is no doubt that the right to privacy is one of the most important human rights today. It is also important to indicate the right to privacy as a value or to define the basis for the protection of the right to privacy, which consists of the essence, content, and scope of the right to privacy. Another important issue is the means of protecting the right to privacy in civil law, criminal law, or administrative law, especially taking into account the specificity of the digital environment. It is also important to recognize the right to privacy from the point of view of judicial decision, depending on a given country, Supreme Court, Constitutional Tribunal, international cases, in cases concerning a selected country. All this issue, by the year, we have just dealt with in our group. Let me briefly introduce you to the composition of our team. Our team are wonderful, inquisitive, and astute researchers. Our team, dedicated to the analysis of the right to privacy, consists of Professor Vanja Ivasavic is Croatian lawyer and legal scholar from the University of Zagreb. His interests specifically include law, religion, and state, together with religion's legal system, as well as religion and human rights in the European context, especially focusing on the European Court of Human Rights. Professor András Koltai is the research professor of the University of Public Service, Budapest. He is also professor of law at Pázmány Péter Catholic University Faculty of Law and Political Sciences in Budapest, Hungary. He served as a rector of the University of Public Service. He has been the president of the National Media and Info Communication Authority of Hungary. His principal research has been concerned with freedom of speech, personality rights, and media regulation, but he also deals with the other constitutional questions. Professor Matija Damian is an assistant professor for civil and commercial law at the University of Ljubljana, Faculty of Law, and Secretary General of the Institute of Comparative Law attached to the Faculty of Law, where he is also active as a research fellow. In his work, he primarily focused on the area of civil law, intellectual property law, and information society law, and has authored more than 30 scientific articles discussing issues in these fields. Mrs. Professor Marta Dragicevich-Pretnicza is an associate professor in the Department of Criminal Law, Faculty of Law, University of Zagreb. She is a member of the several national and international associations, example, Croatian Academy of Legal Sciences, Croatian Association for Criminal Science and Practice, as well as of the European Society of Criminology, and was an active alternative member in the Commission of Corporate Responsibility and Anti-Corruption, ICC, Croatia, International Chamber of Commerce, Croatia. Mr. Professor Dusan Popovic is a full professor of intellectual property law, competition law, and internet law at the University of Belgrade, Faculty of Law. He was visiting researcher at the University Pantheon Assas, Max Planck Institute for Innovation and Competition, University of Strasbourg. He was a visiting professor at the University of Lyon 3, Jean Moulin, and University of Skopje, and held a number of guest lectures at different European universities. Professor David Szechlanek is a Vice Dean for Bachelor Degree Study and 2-year follow-up Master's Degree Program, and an Associate Professor at the Department of International and European Law, Faculty of Law, Masaryk University. His research focused primarily on European constitutional law, interpretation of the law, the external relation of the European Union, and European private international law. Mrs. Professor Katarina Smigova, she worked as an assistant professor at the Department of International Law and European Studies. She is currently a dean at the Faculty of Law of the Pan-European University and an associate professor at the Institute of International and European Law of this faculty. Her scientific research focused on those areas of international law in which the position of the individual is analyzed, in example, in particular, in the field of international criminal law, international human rights law, and international humanitarian law. And Mr. Dr. Bartłomiej Oręziak is a coordinator of Center for Strategic Analysis of Institute of Justice. So, my friends, as a part of the work of our group, we have prepared, first, a scientific monograph in which each of us wrote a separate chapter. Secondly, each of us has prepared a scientific article. Thirdly, each of us has prepared many dissemination events in the form of, be it conferences, webinars, interviews, competitions, hard talk, or Oxford debate between young scientists. Fourth, we held regular meetings each month online with my friends to exchange views, comments, objections, and ideas. Fifthly, in June this year, we had an unforgettable international conference on the right to privacy in Warsaw, where we presented only partial results of our research work. So, my friends, it was hard, but how pleasant and how fruitful work. I would like to thank all members of our research group for their cooperation, for the meetings, for the unforgettable experience, for the unforgettable moments. Finally, I would like to thank a few special people. I would like to thank my friends, Professor Edeshilagi, on behalf of our entire team for the idea of creating this kind of professional, huge network, for, as always, our cooperation. I would like to thank Dr. Katarzyna Zombory and Professor Tima Barzo for the wonderful organization and administration of our group. And finally, I would like to thank the Deputy Ministry of Justice of Republic of Poland, Dr. Maciej Romanowski, for his support, for his understanding, and, as always, good advice. Thank you very much.